A very good evening to you and welcome to another edition of Primetime News on TV1, coming to you live from the Newsfirst studios in Colombo. My name is Shakthi Debater.
And I'm Viara. Let's have a look at the headlines for tonight.
The headlines on Newsfirst.
Finalization of peace deal between the United States and Iran to take place very soon. If you have fever, assume that you have dengue and seek immediate medical treatment. A request from the National Dengue Control Unit. Several hospitals reach peak capacity. Prevailing rainy weather with strong winds to continue. 50 houses in Homagama damaged due to strong winds. The direct and visionary leadership of President Anura gave us the confidence to invest in Sri Lanka. A statement from the chairman of the China Harbour Engineering Company. Give us power. We will show you how it's done. Former President Mahinda Rajapaksa asks people to bring him to power once again. And in your top story tonight, it is the conflict in the Middle East. Now, Prime Minister of Pakistan, Shehbaz Sharif, which has mediated talks between Iran and the United States, says the finalization of a deal between the two sides is imminent and expected very, very soon.
Yes, Krishan. Now we cross over to Therunika Naratna for the latest updates.
Thank you very much, Krishan and Viara. Well, Pakistani Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif has said on X that the finalization of the US-Iran agreement is likely expected in the next 24 hours, with quote-unquote the electronic signing of the peace deal immediately after, followed by technical-level talks next week. He thanked the US and Iran for their commitment during the talks and those in the region for their support. However, we also have another separate update coming in from the Middle East, where the Iranian Foreign Ministry says that the signing of the Islamabad memorandum aimed at ending the war with the United States will not, in fact, take place on Sunday. The Foreign Ministry spokesman said the agreement could be signed in the coming days. However, he cautioned against a setting date due to what he described as a hesitation by the United States. Let's take a look.
Pakistani Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif has said, quote, "We are closer to a peace deal than ever before. With finalization likely expected in the next 24 hours, Pakistan is preparing for the electronic signing of the peace deal immediately after that, followed by technical level talks next week. We would like to thank the United States of America and the Islamic Republic of Iran for their ongoing commitment during the negotiations, and we extend our sincere appreciation to our brothers in the region for their support. We are confident that this historic peace deal will form a strong foundation for lasting peace." The war began with US and Israeli strikes across Iran on the 28th of February 2026, prompting Iran to attack Israel and US allied states in the Gulf, as well as effectively closing the Strait of Hormuz, a key shipping route for the world's oil and liquefied natural gas. Despite having agreed to a ceasefire in April, the US and Iran have exchanged intermittent fire, including 2 rounds of tit-for-tat strikes this week. Iran's foreign minister verified that an upcoming ceasefire agreement with the United States features the unfreezing of confiscated Iranian assets. Abbas Araghchi shared on X that a final accord to permanently conclude the US-Israel war on Iran has never been closer. Meanwhile, Switzerland has offered to host the possible signing of a peace agreement between the United States and Iran. Swiss Foreign Ministry said, quote, "Switzerland is fully engaged. We are in close contact with the United States and Iran," unquote. Pakistan's Foreign Minister Ishaq Dar has spoken with his Swiss counterpart, according to the Pakistani Foreign Ministry. In a conversation with Swiss Foreign Minister Ignazio Cassis, Dar welcomed the encouraging progress towards an understanding between the United States and Iran. Islamabad has been the chief mediator in the US-Iran talks to end the war. Meanwhile, the US military said that Iran launched multiple one-way attack drones over several hours in an attempt to strike commercial ships transiting the Strait of Hormuz. CENTCOM said in a post on X, US forces have downed all of them in recent hours as traffic flow through the strait continues unimpeded. Quote, unquote. It said the international trade corridor remains open for transit. US military has also shared a photograph it says shows an F-16 fighter jet patrolling the skies above the Middle East. The post added in its caption, American forces maintain regional presence and vigilance. At least 5 people have been killed in separate Israeli attacks across southern Lebanon. The Israeli military said that an air raid alert was activated in the northern town of Metula due to the infiltration of a hostile aircraft. Attacks at dawn demolished homes and government buildings in southern Lebanon, according to the country's national news agency. Meanwhile, the Israeli military has ordered residents of 20 Lebanese towns and villages to flee their homes.
The Ministry of Health states that due to the rapid increase in dengue patients, hospitals have exceeded their capacity.
Yes, now according to the ministry, the number of deaths due to dengue has now risen to 23. Health sectors request the public to extend their maximum cooperation towards dengue control programs.
What is the latest situation regarding the spread of dengue?
The National Dengue Control Unit stated that over 40,440 dengue cases have been reported in the country so far this year. The total number of dengue deaths reported to date stands at 23, with 4 young children among those who lost their lives.
To date, 40,443 dengue patients and 23 deaths have been reported. Most of these patients are reported from Colombo, Gampaha, Mathura, Gaul, Ratnapura and Kandy districts. Therefore, we appeal to the public. This is an extremely high-risk period for dengue. Please keep your surroundings clean.
50% of the reported dengue cases are from the Western province. The National Dengue Control Unit noted that with the surge in patients, the capacity of several primary and base hospitals has now reached its maximum limit. In hospitals like the Infectious Diseases Hospital in Angkota, the Colombo National Hospital, the North Colombo Teaching Hospital, the South Colombo Teaching Hospital as well as the Homagama Hospital located in the Colombo district, the number of dengue patients receiving treatment has reached maximum capacity. In addition, Dr. Kapila Kannankara, Director of the National Dengue Control Unit, stated that the patient count has also peaked to its maximum capacity at numerous other hospitals, including Gampaha, Kaluthara, Putlam, Kurunagala, Kegol, Kulyapitiya, Ratnapura, Ambilipitiya, Tangol, Hambantota, and Mathura. Furthermore, the number of dengue patients being treated at the Hurina Base Hospital has also reached its maximum capacity. Health authorities state that despite the ongoing situation, all necessary facilities have been provided to take care of all patients effectively.
Symptoms of dengue typically occur 2 to 3 days after a person is bitten by an infected dengue mosquito. Key symptoms include high fever, severe headache, muscle and joint pain, as well as nausea and vomiting.
Health sectors warn the public to seek medical attention as quickly as possible if they exhibit symptoms like high fever lasting for more than 2 days, muscle pain, headache, vomiting and nausea.
What are the steps being taken to control dengue?
Health authorities emphasize that the breeding of dengue mosquitoes can be controlled by keeping the surrounding environment clean. They further stress that every citizen must dedicate themselves to this cause. A dengue prevention week is set to be implemented starting from the 15th. This week-long program will run until the 20th, covering public places and educational institutions.
The first 3 days, that is the 15th, 16th and 17th, are allocated for public places. The 18th is dedicated to schools, preschools, educational institutions and universities. The 19th is set aside for state and private institutions. And Saturday, the 20th, has been allocated for residential houses.
Meanwhile, a special dengue prevention program organized by the Environmental Protection Division of the Sri Lanka Police and the Colombo Municipal Council was conducted today, covering the Colombo 7 area. During the inspections conducted there, mosquito larvae were discovered on certain premises.
What action will be taken if someone maintains their premises in a manner that breeds mosquitoes?
ස්ථානයක් රෝගයක් බෝ විය හැකි ස්ථානයක් පවත්වාගෙන යාම ශ්‍රී ලංකාවේ අපරාධ නීතිය යටතේ ව්‍යවස්ථාපිත වරදක්.
Maintaining an unclean property or a location where a disease can breed is a statutory offence under the criminal law of Sri Lanka. It is not just an offence, it is a criminal offence. Being convicted of such criminal offence often leads to disqualification for employment in the public service. Although nearly 75,400 houses were inspected during the operations over the past 3 days, the police have filed only 76 lawsuits. However, if the Sri Lanka police or health officials issued warnings to any premises during the operations conducted on the 7th, 8th, 9th and 10th, and if the same conditions are found during inspections from the 18th onwards, those individuals will most likely face legal prosecution. This is because it shows gross negligence. Those who manage construction sites need to be especially informed at this time. Under Section 98 of the Code of the Criminal Procedure, if a learned magistrate is satisfied that a construction site poses a threat or obstruction to public health or public safety, he has the power to issue an injunction order to halt it. Therefore, we are specially instructing police officers to pay close attention to these construction sites. Next, schools in particular, and especially religious places, must be monitored. The devotees and trustees of those places must pay attention to this. We hope to clean such locations during this 6-day operational period.
ගරු මහේස්ත්‍රාත්තුමාකට හැංගී යනවා නම් එතුමාට පුළුවන් තහනම් නියෝගයක් කරන්න.
The epidemiology unit states that the spread of meningitis is now largely under control. Dr. Harendra Dasanayaka, a consultant community physician at the unit, noted that approximately 280 suspected meningitis patients have been identified to date. Now, currently, no new cases are being reported from Dengue, where the outbreak first emerged. Dr. Dasanayaka further said that the outbreak has also been contained in Rikilagaskada and Kandy, where cases were previously identified. He added that teams from the epidemiology unit are continuously monitoring the situation to support disease control programs. Diyathalawa and Balimada are the other areas where meningitis cases have been reported.
Weather first.
The Department of Meteorology states that fairly heavy falls of about 75 millimeters can be expected in the western, Sabaragamu and northwestern provinces, as well as Ingol, Mathura, Kandy and Nuwara districts.
Yes, Teruni is once again ready to bring updates along with other weather information. Teruni.
Thank you once again, Krishan and Biara. Well, the Met Department says that strong winds between 40 to 50 kilometers per hour can be expected at times over the western slopes of the Central Hills, the northern and north central provinces, and also in the Hambantota and Trincomalee districts. The Met Department advises the fishing and naval communities to refrain from venturing out to the sea areas of the coast extending from Kankasantre to Kalpitia via Mana until further notice. Furthermore, landslide early warnings have been issued for Kalutra, Ratnapura and Nuwara districts. Let's now take a look at the impact caused by the weather over the past 24 hours.
This is how 52 houses in Kiriberia Kale, Pitipana Homagama have been damaged due to strong winds last night.
රෑ 12ට විතර වගේ මට ටිකක් නිින්දෙන් වගේ වුණා මේ ලොකු හුලං සද්දයක් කරන්ට් එකත් ගිහිලා තිබ්බේ එනකොට
එක සැරේම දඩම්බඩම් කාලා සද්දයක් ආවා බැලුවා එළියට බෑලා බලනවත් එක්කම ඔක්කොම මුළු වහලම කඩාගෙන ගියා.
Meanwhile, 5 families in Makandura Godakawela in Ratnapura have been relocated to safe locations due to the threat of landslides. The Ratnapura District Disaster Management Centre stated that the affected families are currently temporarily seeking shelter at their relatives' homes. Heavy rainfall in Gaul also caused the water level of the Ging River to rise today. As the water level of the river increased, low-lying areas in Mapalagama and Navahaula were inundated. In addition, the spill gates of the Kukuleganga reservoir have been opened due to the prevailing rains, resulting in the Bulat Sinhala Molakawa road being submerged. In more local news and another headline-making story tonight, the leader of the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna, former President Mahinda Rajapaksa, says that if he is given power, he will show how to govern the country.
Now, the former president made these remarks after attending a ceremony held in Kalutara.
A felicitation ceremony for local government members representing the Kalutara district from 4 political parties, the Sri Lanka Freedom Party, the United People's Freedom Alliance, the People's United Front and the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna was held in Kalutara today. The event was chaired by former President Mahinda Rajapaksa.
No one can escape this storm. Everyone was swept away by this past political transformation. Only Chamara and I survived. Right, Chamara? Just 2 wild weeds. Everything else was washed away. Everything. This government is moving forward as an oppressive government. If this government thinks that by putting Mahinda Rajapaksa in prison, putting Gotabaya Rajapaksa in prison, putting Nama Rajapaksa in prison, and putting everyone who helped them in prison, the dollar rate will decrease, that won't happen. The value of the rupee won't increase either.
Meanwhile, a group of members from the opposition coalition called on the Mahanayaka terrorists today. This group included partly Champika Ranawaka, Professor G.L. Piris, Vijayadasa Rajapaksa, Anuradha Jayaratna, Sagala Ratnayaka, Vajirabe Wardana, Premanath C. Dolavatta and former President Gotabaya Rajapaksa's former private secretary Sugishwara Bandara.
We have not united for our own welfare or for our need. We have united to prevent the destruction of this country. Secondly, no one who voted for this government believed that these people could have done anything. However, they had an expectation that the rule of law will be protected. Our effort is not to form an alliance or a party. It is to form a broad stage to provide everyone the opportunity to work together to resolve national issues. For example, holding the provincial council election on time, protecting the independence of the judiciary, preventing political interference within the Attorney General's department. Everyone can unite to resolve these issues. We are not saying that everyone must work under one flag. There is no need for that. The conduct of the opposition in our country, even within parliament, is terrible. They come early in the morning and utter the biggest lies imaginable. By 11 or 12 in the afternoon, they just leave. Having created a few media outlets of their own, they spread those lies and distort the minds of the public. Today, on one hand, they are interfering with the judiciary and pressuring the police. Beyond that, as you've seen, they are now cursing the general public. One politician went as far as to say the people who voted for this government must be cursed. That shows how desperate they are. They are weeping. And this is just the beginning. Many more will be crying soon. If anyone has stolen or plundered public tax money or national wealth, even by a small amount, only those corrupt individuals have a need to send this government home. No one else wants that. Law-abiding, righteous state officials, professionals, farmers and workers, all of them will protect this government. It is only those thieves, fraudsters and thugs who desperately need to send this government home.
Bai Yingshan, the chairman of the China Harboring Engineering Company, says that he has developed strong confidence in investing in Sri Lanka due to the direct and visionary leadership of President Anurukumara Dissanayake. He expressed these views during a meeting held with the president today.
President Anurukumara Dissanayake met with the chairman of the China Harbour Engineering Company, or CHEC, Bai Yingshan, and a delegation from the company this morning at the Presidential Secretariat. The Presidential Media Division stated that during the meeting, Bai In-shan expressed his appreciation for the incentives granted to the Port City Colombo Special Economic Zone. The CHEC chairman also commended the economic stability that has been achieved in Sri Lanka under the president's leadership. Emphasizing that foreign direct investments are an essential factor for the country's economic growth, the president stated that the government is committed to providing all necessary facilities for this purpose. The president further noted that the government has achieved a degree of policy stability through the agreements reached with the IMF, and operating from that stability, it is working to create an increasingly investor-friendly environment. He expressed that the government will continuously provide the highest possible support for investments that contribute positively to the country's development and prosperity, highlighting that it is the government's objective to develop the Port City Colombo area into a modern and dynamic economic zone capable of attracting substantial international investment. Furthermore, the president gratefully acknowledged and appreciated the assistance extended by the China Harbour Engineering Company in providing relief to the people affected by Cyclone Ditwa. An audit has been launched into the incident in which cybercriminals stole $2.5 million from the Treasury. The Auditor General's Department said that a report on the findings will be submitted to Parliament. Meanwhile, the Committee on Public Finance has also requested a report from the Central Bank regarding the cyber attack. The request was made when the committee convened to examine the circumstances surrounding the theft of $2.5 million from the Treasury by cybercriminals.
Get ready for a night of music, energy and unforgettable vibes as Augusta presents The Monsoon Party at CHNFC 13th June from 7:30 p.m. onwards, featuring an incredible lineup with Daddy, 242, Doctor, The Sleeping Chairs, Magic Box Mix-Up and Pop Culture. Call 077-692-8857 or visit themonsoonparty.augusta.lk.
Newsfirst,
main sponsor.
2 countries, 2 degrees within 4 years. Call ACBT.
Welcome back to the news.
A chance to discover the talent within you.
A platform where your reasoning finds its voice on a national stage.
A launchpad for turning your dreams into reality.
What are we talking about? It's none other than Shakthi Debater. Now, the inauguration ceremony of the new chapter of the Shakthi TV Shakthi Debater competition program was held today, marking the official launch of this year's journey. A new chapter of the Shakthi TV Shakthi Debater competition, a platform dedicated to nurturing school debaters who aspire to mart the art of eloquence, was inaugurated today at Stein Studios in Ratmalana. Organized under the theme, "We will win through words, we will keep speaking until we win." This year's edition of Shakthi Debater officially commenced with renewed energy and purpose. The Shakthi TV Shakthi Debater initiative provides students from across the country with an equal opportunity to demonstrate their debating skills, critical thinking and communication abilities on a national stage. A total of 852 schools from across the island participated in the initial selection rounds of the competition. Based on performance points, 64 of the country's top schools have advanced to the gallery round. The inauguration ceremony was attended by the Group Director of the Capital Maharaja Group, Shivan Daniel, Shakthi TV Channel Head Murugesu Kulendran, Shakthi FM Channel Head Ajay Titus Alexander, Shakthi TV Sales Division General Manager Siraj Sanoon, senior officials of the Capital Maharaj Group, as well as school principals, teachers, parents and students. Speaking at the event, Group Director of the Capital Maharaj Group, Shivan Daniel, said that Sri Lanka is being called to nurture a new generation of thinkers and leaders with strong philosophical grounding.
The world is desperately looking for, and I know Sri Lanka is desperately thirsty for, young people with a strong foundation of philosophical leadership. Young people who understand issues in a deep manner. But unfortunately, the assault on your minds that we see today happening through Instagram and TikTok and Facebook and other social media tools is taking away the power that you have to concentrate and focus. And I hope that this rigorous process of preparation for a debate, of improving your knowledge on a subject that you might not be familiar with, and then defending a position that you might not even agree on, will only end up strengthening your intellectual processes. And if that is achieved, then no matter who wins, all of us win. Sri Lanka wins.
The Shakthi Debater program will be broadcast on Shakthi TV every Saturday from the 11th of July from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. A workshop for participating students was also held after the inauguration ceremony.
Shakthi Debater.
Rainforest Trust of Sri Lanka unveiled name boards for 52 trees to raise urban conservation awareness and promote protection of Colombo's tree heritage.
The Rainforest Trust of Sri Lanka, or RTOSL, successfully hosted a landmark educational and environmental awareness program titled Ceremonial Dedication to the Public of Name Boards of Trees today. The RTOSL is a public trust registered with the Public Trustee established in 2004 to conserve and restore Sri Lanka's fragile rainforest ecosystems. The event today unveiled scientifically documented name boards for 52 tree species in the walking path, each crafted from offcuts of wood and inscribed in Sinhala, Tamil and English and botanical names.
We hope this project will bring the urban dwellers, young and old, closer to the trees and thereby build a tree conscience in them. We hope their realization that trees in a built-to-capacity Colombo plays a vital role with their environment, reducing heat and removing carbon dioxide belching from vehicular traffic. Many large, beautiful trees in Colombo are more than 100 years old and are our biocultural heritage to protect for posterity. That, ladies and gentlemen, made Colombo a garden city, and let us continue to keep it so.
The event was attended by over 150 participants, including conservationists, academics, students, media representatives and members of the public.
Sri Lanka's rich maritime history and its strategic importance in the Indian Ocean have been brought into focus through a new publication launched by the Sri Lanka Navy.
A publication titled Sri Lanka's Maritime Heritage and Historical Significance was officially launched at the Sri Lanka Navy headquarters in Battaramulla.
From ancient trade networks to Sri Lanka's unique and strategic positioning in the Indian Ocean, the publication titled Sri Lanka's Maritime Heritage and Historical Significance aims to explore how the surrounding sea has shaped Sri Lanka's past as well as its development.
The journal brings together research from archaeologists, historians and maritime experts exploring the island's long-standing relationship with the sea and its role in shaping national history.
We are being a maritime nation. We know the worth or the wealth of the potentials that what we have around us. Fortunately or unfortunately, we are located strategically, but we haven't exploited our benefits through this the strategic the position. Rather, we were exploiting the resources or the wealth what we have for individual purposes. So while the Sri Lanka may not possess overwhelming navy, naval and the military power, so its maritime diplomacy offers an effective to enhance its sea power. There is no doubt that the publication initiatives of this Sri Lanka's maritime heritage and historical significance is a timely intervention. I am convinced that there needs to be reviewed vigor of our maritime orientation as we navigate into the future.
The sea has always played a vital role in shaping our history and culture. Therefore, it is worthy to be studied. The publication of this day is certainly an academic triumph. The Sri Lanka Navy became the common thread in bridging all knowledge and resources together. Through this publication, we are reminded not only the proud maritime past, but also the importance of caring, safeguarding, and studying this subject matter in a responsible and accountable manner, which would be beneficial and appreciated by future generations.
The journal combines Navy expertise with contributions from the universities of Peradeniya, Kelaniya and Jaffna, as well as the Department of Archaeology, Central Cultural Fund and the Postgraduate Institute of Archaeology.
The 2026 Dragon Boat Culture Festival China-Sri Lanka Friendship Cup Dragon Boat Race was successfully held today. The event brought together teams from Sri Lanka and China in a vibrant celebration of sport and cultural exchange.
The 2026 Dragon Boat Cultural Festival China-Sri Lanka Friendship Cup Dragon Boat Race was co-hosted by the Chinese Embassy in Sri Lanka and the Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports. It was organized with the support of several partner institutions, including the National Association for Canoeing and Kayaking in Sri Lanka, China Cultural Center in Sri Lanka Overseas Chinese Association, Chinese Chamber of Commerce in Sri Lanka, China Center of International Cultural Exchange and Tourism Promotion, and the Rugao Puppetry Art Troupe. Chinese Ambassador Ki Zhenghong, Minister of Youth Affairs and Sports Sunil Kumar Gamage, and Deputy Minister of Finance and Planning Dr. Anil Jayantha Fernando were among those who attended the event.
Today, we will not only witness thrilling dragon boat races and enjoy wonderful culture performances, but also take part in interactive activities featuring Chinese intangible culture heritage. Through those activities, our two peoples come closer with joy and laughter. May today's thrilling race inject new vitality into our bilateral friendship and cooperation.
The Dragon Boat Festival itself carries a rich cultural heritage, and today's celebration beautifully combine competition, tradition, art and community engagement. It's a fitting symbol of the long-standing friendship between China and Sri Lanka, a friendship that continues to grow stronger through mutual respect and shared appreciation. As a government, we are committed to build a strong sporting culture and positioning Sri Lanka as a leading sport tourism destination in the region. Even like these bring together athletes, visitors and cultures from around the world, showcasing not only our sporting potential but also the beauty, hospitality and diversity of our nation. Let us continue to strengthen the bridge of friendship between Sri Lanka and China through sport, culture and cooperation.
The event concluded with an award ceremony where trophies and souvenirs were presented to the winning teams, marking a strong display of cultural friendship and sporting spirit between the two nations. Let's now take a look at the corporate brief, which is up next. The official launch of Central Park Boulevard Port City, the largest real estate development project carried out by Homelands Group in the Colombo Port City, was held yesterday. The inauguration ceremony was held under the name the Night of Emeralds. Several programs have also been organized today and tomorrow to mark the launch of Central Park Boulevard Port City. The official information and sales center of the project will be opened to the public from next Monday. The Central Park Boulevard Port City project features a range of international-level luxury facilities and high-value offerings. Located in the Park District of the Colombo Port City, this twin-tower residential complex consists of 37 floors each. The total project value is estimated to exceed $300 million. A marathon organized by the Voice for Voiceless organization was held today at the Negombo Dutch Fort. The event was organized in a highly festive and well-coordinated manner, attracting over 500 participants representing all age groups from young children to adults. Winners of the competition were recognized and awarded medals and prizes for their achievements. Sirasa TV and Yes FM were the media sponsors of the event.
The Royal Asiatic Society of Sri Lanka Research Conference 2026 commenced in Colombo today.
The Royal Asiatic Society of Sri Lanka Research Conference 2026 commenced today in Colombo under the theme Layers of Time, Heritage, Culture and Society in Sri Lanka, bringing together academics, researchers, scholars and students for a two-day interdisciplinary forum on the country's historical, cultural and social heritage. Organized in collaboration with the Central Cultural Fund, the conference marks the return of a major academic gathering in Sri Lanka. The event brings together both local and international scholars, featuring expert presentations and panel discussions that explore diverse perspectives across multiple disciplines.
Sri Lanka's heritage is a product of many centuries of cultural exchange, religious traditions, social transformation, and intellectual achievement. Each generation has added its own layer to the rich tapestry of our national identity. By exploring these layers, we gain a deeper understanding of our past, a clearer appreciation of our present, and valuable insights for shaping our future.
An international vision speech was presented by Professor Natalia Ufimtseva of the Moscow State University. The keynote address was delivered by renowned sociologist Dr. Sasanka Pereira.
We must usher in an era of sensible politics and international relations, governed strictly by our own national interests, fiercely protective of our independent island identity, while simultaneously respecting and giving due recognition to what is genuinely important in our shared regional heritage and South Asian collective identity and non-threatening connectivity. The time, ladies and gentlemen, for wavering is indeed over. It is clearly not the time to build this bridge. It is time to draw a clear line in the sand, look across the Park Strait and speak with the same clarity and sophistication that...
The second day of the conference, scheduled for tomorrow, will feature 44 research papers presented by more than 50 researchers covering a broad range of disciplines including religion, sociology, psychology, philosophy, anthropology and intercultural communication. The Royal Asiatic Society Research Conference 2026 is expected to provide an important platform for scholarly dialogue and research on Sri Lanka's heritage, culture and society. The special Mass for the 192nd Annual Feast of St. Anthony Shrine in Kochikade, Colombo was celebrated today. The Mass was celebrated by the Auxiliary Bishop of Colombo, Most Reverend Dr. Maxwell Silva.
මින්වාන්සේ ඉදිරියේ තබා දැන් යාඥා කරමු.
The procession carrying the statue of St. Anthony paraded the streets this afternoon. Simultaneously, a special traffic plan is in effect from 2:30 p.m. until 10 p.m. tonight along the road surrounding the church. The ceremony to bless the statue of St. Anthony was held earlier tonight.
Yesterday, Elon Musk became the world's first trillionaire after shares in his SpaceX rocket company soared during the biggest ever stock market debut.
Yes, Viara. Well, a trillion is so large, just to put it into perspective for our viewers. If Elon Musk spent $1 million a day, every day, it would take him a staggering 2,738 years for him to exhaust his funds. And to bring us more on this interesting story, we now cross over to Ometra.
Yes, Krishan and Viara. Now, Tesla and SpaceX founder Elon Musk comfortably cemented his status as the world's richest man, with his total net worth standing at $1.11 trillion according to the Bloomberg Rich List. Now, it came as the rocket telecommunications and artificial intelligence company listed on the Nasdaq Stock Exchange with a valuation of $2.2 trillion. The company said its shares would be offered at $135 each, but trading opened at $150 and briefly reached $176.50 in a show of investor enthusiasm for potential business related to space and companies associated with Musk. SpaceX shares closed on Friday at about $161, and Musk's 42% ownership stake in SpaceX gives him essentially unilateral control over everything it does.
And it's sports news. Well, Viara, as we have been reporting the past few days, football fans the world over have their attention focused on one thing only, and that is the 2026 FIFA World Cup that is currently taking place in the Americas, namely the United States, Mexico and Canada.
Yes, Krishan. Now, Omitra is ready to bring us today's sports news along with the excitement of football. Omitra?
Thank you, Krishan and Viara, once again. Now, the first match of the 2026 FIFA World Cup to end in a draw was recorded early this morning. It was the match between Bosnia and Herzegovina and Canada. The Maharaja Media Network is the licensed broadcast rights holder for the FIFA World Cup 2026 in Sri Lanka.
Before the start of the match, a vibrant opening ceremony featuring singing and dancing performances was held at the Toronto Stadium in front of a crowd of over 43,000 spectators. This was the first match to be held in host nation Canada for this year's World Cup. During the first half of the match, the Bosnia and Herzegovina team scored a goal. Canada was unable to score any goals in the first half. In the 32nd minute of the second half, Canada's Kyle Larin scored a brilliant goal, successfully bringing his team to a tie. Accordingly, the match ended in a 1-1 draw. Significantly, the Canadian team managed to secure their first ever point in World Cup history during this match. Meanwhile, the United States won the fourth match of the tournament. This match against Paraguay was held in Los Angeles. Before the match commenced, the Los Angeles Stadium in the United States was colored by performances from world-famous singers. The United States led the first half of the match with a score of 3-0. The Paraguayan players were unable to score any goal against them in the first half. In the 28th minute of the second half, the Paraguayan players scored their first goal. They were only able to score a single goal throughout the entire match. During the injury stoppage time, the United States managed to score another goal. Accordingly, the United States won the match with a score of 4-1. 5 matches are scheduled to be played on the third day of the tournament. These matches will be held under Group B, C, D and E. Among them, the match between Qatar and Switzerland will be held tonight at 12:30 a.m. Sri Lankan time at the San Francisco Bay Stadium. The match between Brazil and Morocco will be held tomorrow at 3:30 a.m. Sri Lankan time in New Jersey, USA. The match between Haiti and Scotland will be held tomorrow morning at 6:30 a.m. local time in Boston. You can watch all the matches of the tournament live on Sirasa TV and TV1.
And that's a wrap of your primetime news for tonight.
Thank you for watching. Take care, good night and God bless you.